Welcome to HPC News Bytes, a weekly show about important news in the world of supercomputing, AI, and other advanced technologies.
Hey everyone, welcome to HPC News Bytes. I'm Doug Black. Hi Shaheen. We have two big chip announcements. Let's start with Google Cloud's AI optimized infrastructure, which includes 5th gen TPUs and A3 VMs. And this is based on Nvidia's H100 GPUs that everyone wants to get their hands on. No surprise, but much of this is directed at generative AI. Google noted that large language model parameters, LLMs, have grown tenfold in the past 5 years. And for the TPU V5e, Google user reported a 5x increase in the speed of AI models on this TPU. Meanwhile, the A3 VMs have next-gen Intel Xeon scalable processors, 8 Nvidia H100 GPUs per VM, and 2 terabytes of host memory, delivering 3.6 terabytes per second bisectional bandwidth. Pretty powerful.
Very powerful and comprehensive. So basically, the market has now split into what I call a fast-moving, well-funded, AI-driven, more with more build-out, and an anemic, cost-cutting, more with less segment for traditional computing, which is why there is such an acute shortage of accelerators and new performance benchmarks and claims, etc. Also interesting is the co-opetition between big cloud players and big accelerator companies, because the cloud guys are busily building their own accelerators while working to strengthen their relationships with merchant chip and system vendors. Very interesting to watch. Also important to track.
Okay.
The other significant chip announcement this week came from ARM, which introduced their next generation Neoverse compute subsystems, CSCS, which provides bigger pre-integrated chunks of IP so customers don't have to. And this enables ARM users to build specialized silicon at lower cost and a faster time to market compared to discrete IP that has been the norm.
Yeah, it's a pre-integrated PPA optimized configuration of the Neoverse N2 platform with the performance per watt efficiency ARM is known for. ARM said the chip is optimized for 5 nanometer process, and the news is well timed. It comes soon before ARM's IPO, which is expected in September. One of the emerging figures in the HPC community is Torsten Hoefler of ETH Zurich. And he can add another feather to his cap. He's been named Chief Architect for Machine Learning of the Architecture and Technology at the Swiss National Supercomputing Center, CSCS.
So we had the opportunity to speak with Torsten and with Dr. Satoshi Matsuoka after their paper on the 12 myths and legends of HPC was published earlier this year. Definitely worth looking it up if you have not listened to it. He's one of the leading lights of the HPC world in general, and especially when it comes to the enablement of AI by HPC and the impact of AI on HPC. Now, speaking of leading lights, and let me take some promotional liberties here for a change, our latest episode of the HPC podcast is a conversation with Linux open source guru and Rocky Linux creator Greg Kurtzer about the Red Hat and RHEL source code controversy, which has to be one of the top issues in the HPC community these days.
Shaheen, let me congratulate you for having the courage to be self-aggrandizing. Seriously, this is such a big issue, and we've kept our usual neutral forum where all sides can expand on their views. We started with a deep dive with special guest Joe Landman last month in July. Joe Landman is a technical and business expert and practitioner of HPC and open source, and have now continued the discussion with Greg, who, by the way, also is CEO of CIQ. These have generated a lot of interest. Our next episode will be a conversation with Mike McGrath of Red Hat, whose blogs in late June announced changes in Red Hat granting access to RHEL source code. So we'll look forward to that one too. All right, that's it for this episode. Thank you all for being with us.
HPC News Bytes is a production of Orion X in association with Inside HPC. Shaheen Khan and Doug Black host the show. Every episode is featured on InsideHPC.com and posted on OrionX.net. Thank you for listening.